Adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Yo, it's Pipeman here on the Positively Pipeman segment of the Adventures of Pipeman here on W4CY Radio. It is Motivational Monday, and we're going to motivate your business with our resident expert on business who has some powerful business strategies. And, you know, I'm looking at today's title and I'm thinking to myself, should I do this interview or should I go to the crap table? Because both ways could be winners with the number 7. So let's welcome to the show, Michael Barbarita.
Thank you, Dean. Yeah, the 777 formula is, you know, if a business owner just worked on this and nothing else, it could be a tremendous impact. But there's some, you know, procedural things that you have, steps that you have to take in order to properly implement this. And by the way, it works excellent too in terms of bonusing managers. I've seen it work really well there. But let me explain the formula first of all. So the 777 formula is simply this. You work towards increasing sales 7%. You work on decreasing your cost of goods by 7%. And you work on decreasing your overhead by 7%. When a company does that, and I'll give you a quick example. If a company does $1 million in business and they increase their revenue 7%, and they have a 40% margin, they increase their revenue 7%, they decrease their cost of goods 7%, and decrease their overhead 7%, the impact on profit will be a 63% profit increase. That's the power of the 777 formula. And you're going to say, well, what are the procedural things? Well, of course, the way to increase sales is to increase prices. You could sell more units per customer, packaging and bundling that we've talked about, adding more value that we've talked about, upsell, downsell, cross-sell that we talked about. And then for ways to reduce, and this is the one that everybody says that you can't do, by the way. This is reducing your variable cost or your cost of goods sold. You know, there's ways to do that for asking for improving your process internally. That's one. Second, you negotiate vendor terms with free freight. Also, better payment terms. Advertising. You know, Dean, I used to get $100,000 of advertising money from my vendors, and it's not. And I wasn't the biggest. And here's the thing, with a lot of the vendors out there in the various industries, they always have a little extra advertising money in addition to their standard co-op, which some have and some don't. But whether they have a standard co-op or not, they usually have a budget for helping some customer. In some way. So I used to do a dog and pony show every year at the National Trade Show to my critical vendors of how this advertising program that I did was going to help improve sales and increase our order. And when you know it, I got 10 grand from 10 vendors.
Wow. And
some of that money came in the form of free product, which, by the way, is more than 10 grand because I got the free product at wholesale, $10,000 worth of product that I can sell at retail. And some of it came in just in the form of a deduction off of an invoice, or it came in cash. But one way or another, it came in, and it was able to absolutely help my business tremendously, all for a dog and pony show. And to make vendors realize that some of the advertising things that you can do, and how if you follow the conversion formula, which we've talked about in the past, captivate, fascinate, educate, and close, it works famously to get this advertising money and to show the vendors using how you use the conversion formula to get business. So asking for point of purchase displays, better pricing, better, quicker turnaround, minimum quantities. These are all things you can ask your vendors for. Can orders be canceled without penalty? Because that's real nonsense. If you're penalized for canceling an order, that's real bad. Maybe you need the product to be more efficiently handled or packaged in a certain way, or you need better. I think I've already said better pricing as part of it as well. So the negotiation of vendors and improving the process. People are afraid to negotiate with vendors. I don't know why.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Also, in terms of reducing overhead, you can relocate. I know that can be a pain in the neck, but you can. You can negotiate with your existing landlord. I'll tell you, talk about dog and pony shows. If you negotiate with your current landlord and you show the financial statements and you show all of the dirty laundry, if you want to call it, all the financial information, and come up right up front with the landlord, you could get discounts with landlords. Your insurance policy should be audited, and you should obtain new quotes every year. You should always ask your current suppliers for discounts. Always.
Yeah.
Always. You should audit your internet and phone services, and you should always mention a competitor when you do talk to them.
I do that all the time.
There's plenty of write-offs and tax savings that through especially through a subchapter S corporation, which you should look into. You should negotiate blanket purchase order discounts. So it allows an organization to bulk together purchases that wouldn't otherwise happen. You can look for reductions in waste. You cancel subscriptions that you forgot about.
I think also, not just accepting things. And I'll give you an example of that. I have a storage facility where when we do events, that's where we put our equipment for the events instead of storing it in the studio. And basically every 4 months, the storage company I'm with, they will up your price. And a lot of times it's dramatic. Okay. And so what people tend to do is either forget about it and either just pay it, or then they go to another storage facility so that they can get another free month and special deal. But what they don't realize, they're going to be right back up again in 4 months. And they just spent money moving all their stuff and time and effort. Every time for years now that I've gotten that increase, I call up the facility, not even the corporation, but the facility, and somebody in that facility actually negotiates for me. But I basically do exactly what you're saying. Number one, I get a little, perturbed that they keep raising me. I've been with you for a while, and somebody can come in and they could get a free month and they could pay what I was paying in the beginning, and that now I pay more. And a lot of companies do that, but people just accept it. And then I do bring up the competition. I'm like, listen, I could go to right down the street and I could get it for what I was paying before, and they'll give me a free couple months. I don't want to move. So tell me what you can do for me, because I can't pay this amount. And every single time I do that, they lower it back to almost what I was paying when I first started with them. So they're getting a little bit more, but right now I could tell you that I'm paying a quarter of what I would be paying had I agreed to the increase.
Interesting. And then lots of times we'll review credit card statements and they'll have subscriptions that you're not using anymore.
Yeah.
That's another area to cut overhead. Soliciting employee input for efficiency improvements is another area that business owners have a tendency to overlook. Overtime. I have many clients who didn't realize that they were spending so much for overtime.
Yeah.
Where, especially when sales are down, right? Business is off, and the overtime numbers are the same.
Yeah.
That doesn't compute.
No.
The other area, Dean, is transportation and vehicle costs. That's an area that's abused by employees. So that's another area that you can look to see how to make that more efficient. Also, utilities. Lots of times lights are left on. There's so many different procedural things that you can improve process on. And by the way, your employees are a great resource for that. And then you have to analyze your marketing to see if making sure that every dollar is working. So there's and so if you just focus on the 7-7-7, 7% increase in sales, 7% decrease in cost of goods, 7% decrease in overhead, you'll see an amazing difference. And what many businesses have done is they bonus their managers on, for example, decreasing cost of goods by 7% and decreasing overhead by 7%.
Yep.
And at every level, if they decrease at 1%, they get a certain bonus. If they increase at 2%, they get another bonus. If they increase at 3%, and I can show the business owner the mathematics, as I gave you that quick example. You're doing $1 million worth of business. You got 40% gross profit. You do a 7% increase in sales, 7% reduction in cost of goods, 7% reduction in overhead. You have a 63% increase in profit, which you can certainly share some of that with a manager who drove that performance.
You'll also increase sales by decreasing overhead and costs because you'll have a more productive environment to be able to sell more.
Right. There's a lot of things that can be done in-house, to improve efficiency and cut cost.
Absolutely.
Lots of things. It's amazing. So once again, Dean, we went over a lot of stuff today, but there's a lot more stuff to glean from this. But this formula, if a business owner just focused on this one formula, 7-7-7, very easy to understand, very easy to focus on, and very productive, they would see an inordinate increase in profit.
No doubt. All they have to do is think about what happens if they get 7-7-7 on a slot machine, and they can do that for their business too. So, right. Yes, they do have to reach out to you. There's so much more to discuss in this area. So reach out to Michael, and also find out about all the other services. He's a wealth of information and a wealth of expertise. And there's even a chance at a book interview. Let's hear it.
Okay, so go to nextstepcfo.net/contact. Fill out the contact form, put in the message box, book interview, and the book interview goes just like this. It's 60 minutes on Zoom. I present strategies for my book, and I ask you as the business owner what the impact would have to a business in your industry if they were to implement that strategy. I document it for the book, and that's it. And I promise you that you'll learn business and financial strategies through that interview that your competition isn't doing. And so we do both CFO services and strategic implementation. So we cover both the financial and the strategic. And that differentiates us from a lot of other fractional CFOs who really just focus on the financial.
I think you need both.
You definitely need both. You definitely need both, because what ends up happening is you can only talk about the numbers so much.
Yeah.
And then, now it's okay. Now what do I do? Well, here's 22 strategies that we offer that you can implement. And we talk about implementation. We don't talk about learning. You can go to Google to learn. Nextstepcfo.net. You could also download a free copy of our book called Powerful Business Strategies. So that's how you reach us.
And you definitely,
by the way, you can also go to that contact page and ask for a consultation. We could tell you exactly how we go about doing what we do.
I think they definitely should. And yes, you definitely do have some powerful business strategies. So thanks once again for bringing them to our audience here on the Adventures of Pipeman, Positively Pipeman segment. And Thanks for being here and just helping businesses across the world.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.